Hello, this is Christian. You may or may not know me as Captain Charisma, but you're watching a video made by Hal. Make sure you subscribe.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous et bienvenue sur la chaîne YouTube de Catch Hal. Aujourd'hui, en exclusivité, vous l'aurez reconnu, futur WWE Hall of Famer, Christian. Hello Christian, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the nice introduction. I caught future Hall of Famer. I don't know about that, but we'll see.
We are sure about that. Did you like the convention yet so far?
Oh yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's always the best thing about these is the people watch. You know, see all the awesome cosplay, costumes and stuff like that. The creativity that everybody has coming to these, and how much fun everyone has, and it's just a good atmosphere. It's great to be here. A lot of cool wrestling fans. Got to meet some wrestling fans. A lot of wrestling fans yesterday. Had a good Q&A. A lot of good questions. So yeah, so far it's been great. I'm looking forward to today.
Cool. I'm doing fine as well. I hope my question will be great as well.
Yeah, so, I'm sure they will.
Yeah. We're going to start the interview with the first question. I would like to come back to what happened recently. It was last Sunday at the Royal Rumble. What do you think about the victory of Shinsuke Nakamura?
Yeah, actually I predicted Nakamura would win it.
Yeah, I predicted it too.
Good choice. Yeah, so I think that he's obviously very talented from the things we've seen him do in New Japan and then even in NXT and the main roster. Sometimes there's a bit of a learning curve when you get there, and I think now this kind of give him and I think we've seen flashes of how good he really is and how good he can be, and I think this is probably the shot in the arm that he needs to get him to that next level. And I think that he and AJ will probably tear it down at WrestleMania, and I think that he'll be on his way to awesome. big things. So it'll be good for him.
Okay, cool. On the other side, we got Asuka on the Women Royal Rumble, the first ever winner. What do you think about the all-woman revolution and this movement literally growing on again and again?
Yeah, I think it's unreal, and I think that the steps that the women have taken over the last couple of years have just been unbelievable, and keep having these challenges thrown at them, like the first ever Hell in a Cell match, the first ever Money in the Bank match, now the first ever Royal Rumble. And now it's
soon.
Yeah, and soon the first ever women's elimination chamber. So they just keep breaking down barriers and hitting it out of the park every time. So very happy. And the cool thing about the women's Royal Rumble was a lot of the women that were laying the groundwork for this to happen. You think of Trish Stratus, Lita, Beth Phoenix, Molly Holly, women that were always fighting and working hard with this vision in their head that someday it would be this, to get there, to get to come out at Royal Rumble and experience it, and to be a part of it. I think was also really important. Okay,
cool. I do agree with you. Yeah. Another subject, Zack Ryder is one of your best friend, if I can say.
I wouldn't say best friend, but he's a friend.
Okay, he's a friend.
Yeah, let's not go that far.
He's a good friend.
He's a good friend
of yours. What do you think about the way he's used in WWE?
I think he's obviously really talented, and I think even he might have been a little bit ahead of his time with the YouTube show and using social media and things like that. I think that at the time that because it was kind of so new and nobody had done anything like that maybe nobody knew how to capitalize on what it was that he was doing, and it was maybe like, well, what's going on here? We don't, So I think that in that sense, he was a little bit ahead of his time, whereas now I think that it probably would have been more, I'm looking for the right words to say. I think that he's obviously really talented. He loves the wrestling business, and the good thing is he's still relatively young. Yes, of course, he could do more, and but I mean, a lot of that is up to him as well,
Yes,
and
of course.
So he's shown flashes of it, and I think that like I said, a lot of it is up to the talent. People sometimes tend to think somebody's being held back or something to that effect, when that's not always the case. So he's talented, and he'll figure it out, and I think he'll be there for a long time, and he's had a great career, and I still think that he's got a lot of good things ahead of him, because he's a good guy and he's really talented and he loves the business.
Yes, I hope as well. Talking about talented people, who do you think in the current roster can be soon a top main eventer?
I think that Elias kid is really good, and I didn't think the persona that he had translated well on NXT. I think it was more built for the main roster. His whole persona, the the walk with Elias, the whole
Yes.
presentation is definitely better suited for the main roster. And I actually think he's an underrated performer in the ring, and he's only going to get better. So I definitely see him stepping up and going higher and higher. And he's very comfortable with what he's doing. He's very comfortable with his promo skills. And like I said, because of that, he's almost underrated for what he can do in the ring. So I see big things for him.
Cool. Okay. How is going your personal relation with Vince McMahon?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him all that much anymore,
Yes.
but I mean,
Did you saw him on Raw 25?
briefly. Yeah. So I mean, we have a good relationship.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I was not prepared for the next question. So, yes. What do you think? We're going out of WWE. What do you think about the Bullet Club?
What do I think about the Bullet Club?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
It's one of the oddest faction right now.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think that like we just talked about with the Zack Ryder stuff, that now with the social media, with Twitter and Instagram and all these things, people can become stars or keep themselves relevant or become relevant because you can put out anything you want at any time.
Yes.
And because something's happening in Japan, it doesn't matter. You can see it as it happens now here with like streaming services, with YouTube, with social media, all these things. So I think the fact that they're smart because they've marketed themselves well. Their personas are great. Their merchandising is smart. So I think it's good for business overall for other places to thrive. I think it's good for everybody and it's good for the business as a whole. So
Should they be signed by WWE?
I don't. That's not for me to say. I mean, I don't know.
They're
not
doing
sure.
great.
Maybe they
by
don't want to.
themselves.
I don't know.
Okay.
So
Another controversial subject, CM Punk. Do you think he will ever be back to WWE?
No clue.
No clue.
I don't know.
Not at all? Are you
I don't
close to him?
I mean, we're friendly, but we're not like we don't call each other on the phone or anything like that. But like if we saw each other, I'm sure we'd talk and have a handshake and have a conversation. We've always gotten along well. Yeah.
On a more personal note, when did you know it was time for you to retire?
When they told me that they weren't going to clear me to wrestle anymore medically, that's when I knew it was time to retire.
And you never wanted to wrestle again, like Daniel Bryan or?
Well, I mean, the thing is,
Was it easy for you?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like I was about 40 years old when I got the news that I wouldn't be able to wrestle again, right? So I'd had a long career.
Yes.
I was closer to the end of my career than I was to the start of it. It's not like I was 29 or 30 when they told me, and I still had a ton of things to accomplish. I'd accomplished not everything I set out to do, but most of the things that I set out to do. So on the grand scope of my career, I wasn't that disappointed, and I had a baby girl at the time, and I think that my health going forward was more important than anything, especially having a young child. To me, that puts precedent over anything else in your life, no matter what it is.
Okay. Capitalizing on the family.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite feud ever?
Of mine?
Yeah, in your career.
Well, I'll put it like this because I always break them up into two different parts of my career: the tag part and the singles. I look at them as two separate careers almost. So, the tag one, obviously, the feud with the Hardy Boys is what put us on the map. And then, I mean, the three-way feud with the Hardys and the Dudley Boys is still talked about today.
Yes,
and I still have
so
young,
crazy.
I still have young kids come up to me at events like this saying that they love the ladder matches, and they weren't. Well, there's some small kids that weren't even. I know they weren't even born yet.
I wasn't.
And
born
and their parents are showing them these matches and things like that. So to me, that says a lot about a feud like that. So. And then my singles career, I would say my feud with Randy Orton was my favorite feud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We just had always great chemistry, great matches, and I was wrestling in main events for the world title, so that was a pretty special time.
Okay. Last question. What is your best memory with Edge in and out WWE? Because that's a long time you know this guy, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess the best moment in WWE together would be when we won the tag titles for the first time.
Okay.
Because we grew up as kids dreaming about it, sitting in the backyard, talking about being WWE tag champions and all those sorts of things, and then to actually have it come true at WrestleMania, that was a pretty big moment. And outside of the ring, I think probably us both having our first kids within a couple months of each other.
Yes.
And now seeing our kids play together.
Yeah, I've been listening to your
you know,
podcast
it's a pretty cool thing to see. You know, we've known each other since we were, 11 years old. So now you see our kids playing together. It's pretty mind-boggling.
Yeah. The friendship is continuing toward generation.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much, Christian, for your time. We appreciate it. Merci à vous d'avoir regardé cette vidéo sur la chaîne YouTube de Catch Hal.
Can I wear your visor?
Yes, of course you can.
Okay, thanks.
Let's do that.
All right. I need a mirror, though. I want to make it look good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
L'équipe ici, média de Paris Manga, ne trouvait pas ma casquette assez belle. Apparemment, Christian, lui, l'apprécie. Quant à nous, on se retrouve très bientôt sur la chaîne YouTube de Catch Hal. Bisous à tous.